Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. So today's video, I'm suspecting is going to be quite a controversial one, but it's a topic I've wanted to talk about. Lily's saying hi. She's got her book. So yeah, it's a topic I wanted to talk about. And so it's about breastfeeding and breastfeeding a toddler. So I'm going to try and keep her distracted while I talk about this. So I've written down some pros and cons that I have found. So I already knew I wanted to breastfeed before Lily was born. So let's just maybe start talking about why I decided to breastfeed. So I mean, this video, by the way, is not to put anyone down or disagree or say that what other people do that, you know, don't have the same views as me. I'm not trying to say that they are wrong. This is just my opinions and my thoughts. And I thought that, you know, it might be interesting for people who's thinking about breastfeeding or is it breastfeeding a toddler. Yeah. So yeah, so let's just start from the start. So even before I was pregnant, I always knew that I would want to breastfeed. I was breastfed as a child, but for not very long. I believe maybe up to not even 6 months, I don't believe, and then I went onto the bottle. So yes, but I already knew I wanted to breastfeed. I already knew I wanted to breastfeed when I was pregnant as well. I still had the same views. And so yeah, when she was born, we went straight to breastfeeding. So I was extremely lucky that she latched straight away. We had no problem with latch whatsoever. I had no problem with any milk supply. So yeah, we were really lucky with that because I was in a ward with 4 other women, sorry, and out of them 4, 3 of them were having problems. I think 2 of them had a latch problem, or maybe 3 of them had a latch problem. No, yeah, they all had a latch problem except for 1. So you know, I could see the frustration, and yeah, I'm just so glad and grateful we didn't have to go through that. So yeah, you know, there's so many reasons why people choose or can't breastfeed, you know. So the latch problems, milk supply problems, I don't know, I can't think right now because she's getting in the camera, but there's just so it's all right. This is going to prove to be difficult, isn't it? I'll be back. Okay, so we've had to resort to breastfeeding while I'm talking because she was just too interested in the camera. So where was I? Yeah, so talking about, you know, there's so many reasons why people either can't breastfeed or just have decided and chosen not to. So yeah, so like I said, I don't want to, you know, talk down on anyone. So yeah, so we were very lucky that we had no problems whatsoever. And yeah, supply wasn't a problem. I'm repeating myself. So we started breastfeeding straight away. Had no issues. I didn't even really have any pain. I know lots of women need to use like nipple shields and things. I didn't have any of that. You know, it was a bit sore and uncomfortable for like a week or so, and I think that yeah, I was a bit sore, but it cleared up very quickly. I think because she had a good latch, there wasn't any problems. She does have a slight tongue tie, but it never caused a problem for us. And so originally I was going to breastfeed until about 6 months, or that's what I thought. I thought we'll see around 6 months and see, you know, what I think. But we never introduced the bottle to her, so she was always breastfed. So when it got to 6 months, 1, we weren't having any problems anyway, and I didn't mind breastfeeding her. And 2, because she'd only ever been breastfed, she would completely refuse a bottle or a dummy anyway, which I was kind of glad about, to be honest, especially about the dummy, because I didn't even really want her to have a dummy, which is, you know, another controversial thing probably, but yeah, so I just didn't really want her to have a dummy, just because it's another thing that you'd have to wean off, you know, at some point. So I thought, it's better just her not having it anyway. So then 6 months came and went, and then I thought, okay, well, we're probably going to make it to a year then. So again, we reached a year, and again, had no problems with either of us. I have had blocked milk ducts, and I don't believe it was full-blown mastitis, but I've had early signs of mastitis as well. So that has been a little bit of an issue, but not really. Nothing too severe. And we're still going now, and she's going to be 18 months, so a year and a half in about a week's time. And we have no plans to stop, so I honestly don't know when we're going to stop. I have thought about natural weaning, because if you didn't know, and I didn't know this even when I started breastfeeding, the natural age for a human being to wean off of breast milk is between 2.5 and 7. So there's obviously a big difference there, and obviously it's completely up to the child and up to the mother. But yeah, so of course there is some exceptions. So there's obviously children, I've known some children to wean themselves off around 18 months, and I've also known of mothers to feed their 8-year-old, for example. So there's such a big difference, or spectrum. At the stage I'm in now, I can't really see myself wanting to feed probably past the age of 3. Just personal preference. But never say never, so I don't know. The NHS actually recommends to breastfeed, if you're in the UK, up until the age of 2 anyway. So we're gonna reach then, and then we'll see how we go. I really want to get to an age where I can communicate with her better, and for her to understand what I'm saying, so it won't be so harsh, just kind of all of a sudden starting to wean her off, and her being young and not understanding why. I feel like when they get to the age of 2 or 3, you'll be able to communicate with them better. There's other ways of comforting them as well, because right now this is her main source of comfort. So that's my views on it, and that's our story. So now it's 7 minutes in already, so I'll go straight to the pros and cons. So I've written them down here, so that's why I'm looking down. So let's go through them. So I'll start with the pros first. So comfort. So as I said, this is her main source of comfort. It's also a very easy source of comfort as well. So obviously, I know if there's any problem, if she falls over, if she really hurts herself, if she's scared, as long as I'm with her, I can feed her, and it will calm her down absolutely instantly. Literally in 2 seconds, she'll be comforted and she'll be calm. Obviously, maybe I would need to, I'm not just going to sit down, although some people have. I'm not just going to stop in the middle of the supermarket and sit down on the floor and start feeding her. I'd probably have to run to the car, etc. But it's just a very easy way to comfort her, and obviously her preferred method of comfort over just hugs and talking, because as I said, she's young anyway. So yeah, easy, fast, and best way of comfort for us. So I've also put sleeping, getting her to sleep easily. So this is another one. As soon as she tells me she's tired, or she lets me know she's tired, I will nurse her to sleep. So this is her way of getting to sleep still. She can't really fall asleep on her own. So yeah, we don't have any really struggle with her falling to sleep. If she is really tired and she feeds and she's nice and warm and quiet, she will fall asleep relatively fast. Maybe, depending on how tired she is, 50, 20 or 30 minutes. So that's another kind of, that's another way, I don't know what I'm trying to say. That's another, it makes something else easy. So comforting is easy, falling to sleep is easy. Nutrition. So I believe that although, breast milk has got obviously so much better throughout the years, it's just so packed full of nutrition, obviously, and everything that a baby needs, my personal views is that breast milk is made by our bodies. There is nothing that can be more perfect for our child than our breast milk, I believe. I also didn't know that your breast, when your baby is on your breast, it collects saliva from the mouth, and so if your baby has a cold or any type of illness or is dehydrated, anything like that, your breast milk will adapt to your child and completely customize itself to your child. So they're getting exactly what they need. So if she's been teething really bad one day and she hasn't been eating very much, and I'm worried, like, oh gosh, she's just had a chunk of cheese and some crisps, she hasn't got nutrition today, I know that she's going to be fine because she's having my breast milk and she's getting loads of nutrition from that. So it's also a peace of mind from that point. Bonding. So this is a very big one as well. So obviously if you've never nursed before, you wouldn't know, but I just feel like nursing your child is just like a hug times 10. Like, it's just such a lovely bonding experience. Yeah, it's just, obviously it's nature's way. Like, nature made this as a way to bond. So yeah, it's just so nice. You just feel like you have such a bond with your child. So yeah, that's a nice pro. I've kind of gone over this one. So calming her down. So again, like I said earlier, with the comfort, it's a very quick and easy way to calm her down. And as soon as she's on my breast, she knows, mummy's here, I'm okay, and she calms down instantly, and I know that she feels safe and happy. So that's nice. Another big one, especially if you're tight on money, is it's free. So formula is actually quite expensive, so it's absolutely free, especially for your child's first 6 months, when pretty much all they have is milk. You can save so much money because obviously it's absolutely free. So that's a great one, like I said, especially if you're tight on money. And another one that I just added, which isn't too important, but weight loss for the mother. So after you've given birth, obviously your stomach muscles have to contract back in because they've been stretched out for 9 and 10 months. So breastfeeding, actually, when your child is nursing, your body sends messages to your stomach saying that your baby has come out because it's nursing, and so you can go back in. So your body and your belly goes back a lot faster. So yeah, and also because obviously it takes quite a lot of calories from your intake. So they say if you're nursing like exclusively, that you should eat maybe about 500 calories more than you normally would. 1 second. Okay, I'm back. So yeah, so an average woman would need to eat about 2,000 calories. If you're exclusively breastfeeding, you should eat about 2,500, because obviously they're taking calories from you. So it's easier to lose weight as well if you're breastfeeding. So if that's something that you want to do after you've had your baby, then it's a good way to do so. Okay, so that's the main pros that I've thought of. So there's less cons. There's only 3 cons that I can think of. So, and one of them is two of them are kind of one, really. So the main con, I would say, is you are attached to them 24/7. So especially when they need you to get to sleep, and especially when they're newborn, you have to be with them constantly. You can't just give your baby to a friend or the nanny or anybody, because you're their source of food. like as I said, especially when they're newborn. So you have to be with them constantly. You can't have a break. You can't have a break in the day. You can't have a break throughout the night. You will be exhausted because, you know, if you're bottle feeding, you know, you can take turns with your partner to feed them throughout the night and things. You can't do that when you're breastfeeding. So it is tough in the newborn stage, definitely. Also, another thing which is kind of similar is you can't go out for very long periods of time or overnight. So even now, obviously with COVID and everything, we can't go on nights out and things anyway. But say, for example, if, you know, me and my partner wanted to go on a date night and we wanted, you know, to have the night to ourselves and give her over to grandma, we can't do that because, you know, she needs me to get to sleep. So we won't be able to do that until she stops breastfeeding. Again, if you wanted to have a day out without your child, you know, she only nurses about 1 to 2 times during the day now. So it might be possible, but she would be very upset because she would miss it. Especially if you're a newborn, you can't go out for a day out without them because they will need you throughout the day for the milk. So that's the main pro. Like, you are stuck with them until they wean, basically. And so the last thing that is kind of a kind of a con. Have I been saying pro this whole time? I bet you I have. Con. The last con is just society and the views that they have on feeding. And this is a con for breastfeeding a toddler, not breastfeeding a newborn. So yeah, the views that our society has of breastfeeding a toddler is very against it. I can't remember exactly the statistics, but I believe it was around 30%. Only about 30% of babies are breastfed past the age of 6 months in America. So that's just crazy to me. So, you know, once your baby hits 1, if you're still breastfeeding them after that, it's seen as strange. It's seen as strange and it's seen as weird and not right and unnatural, which is crazy because it's the most natural thing for a mother and a child. As I said, the natural weaning age is between 2.5 and 7. And, you know, pretty much nobody realises that unless you obviously research and look into breastfeeding. So, you know, you've got to be strong-willed and you've got to be dedicated and you've got to think, you know, it feels right for me and it feels right for my daughter. And so if there's no problems, you know, with between us and doing it, then that's all that matters. You don't have to think or care about what other people say. But it is a con because it makes you feel like you're doing something wrong. And yeah, it just makes you feel like you're a weirdo. And this is me saying it, and she's only 1.5 years. So I can't imagine for the people that still feed their 4, 5, 6-year-old, how it must make them feel. But if you are going through this, there are a lot of great groups on Facebook that you can join. And it's a lovely community of women feeding their older children, or, you know, toddlers and young children. And yeah, so it's great to join them just so you don't feel so alone and you don't feel so like you're a weirdo. But yeah, so this video is 20 minutes long, so I'm gonna wrap it up, but I hope this helped someone, and I hope I hope it helped somebody, basically. And I hope it's, maybe if you are feeding your toddler, you know, you've seen this video and you thought, oh look, I'm not alone, someone else is doing it, someone else has the same views as me. And yeah, so thank you very much for watching. She is back and she's happy. Well, kind of. Yes, thank you very much for watching. Oh goodness. And I'm gonna have to wrap it up because she's about to grab the camera. So I will see you guys in my next video. Bye bye.